What the hell happened? Part 25. In the last part, I went over social media stuff, telling my group of moderators about the whole situation that took place here, telling my neighbors, um, and I really should just talk more about the neighbors a little bit. We were kind of like friends, kind of like casual friends. After that whole scenario happened, um, pretty much we became really good friends, um, and that was really cool. And they watched the property like a hawk. Like nobody comes to visit here without me being aware of them getting back here. Even myself, I remember one time specifically driving my red Jeep back. I usually tell them, "Hey, I'm going out to town. You need anything?" We kind of do that back and forth. Well, I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't mention anything. And I'm driving back at dark, and I see up on the hill a shadowy figure, and I knew exactly what that was. That was my one neighbor, making sure he knew what vehicle was coming back my driveway after dark. Um, so just really cool neighbors I got. Oh, and a bunch of you have been following the channel for a while. You know I got a Ram T-Rex, right? Well, I didn't tell my neighbors about that either. I just kind of like I just wanted to like show them. I'm like, hey guys, check this out, because all I'm driving is like beat up horrible farm trucks, and I'm lucky to have run. Um, so I pull back here in here with it. They know I'm coming back at that time. Well, as soon as I get up my driveway, I get boxed in by the one neighbor because he saw that, dropped everything, and was like, "Who's coming back?" Because he didn't recognize the vehicle, and that was really cool. And I got to show him the truck right on the spot. But I've got unbelievable neighbors that totally help me out. But yeah, I talked to the group of moderators, told them the story, told them basically I was in fear of my life because I was in fear of my life. In some ways, it would not be shocking to me for these people to show up um, now, even, but I think the risk is lower. I think initially it was quite high that they were going to come, and they pretty much just took turns being out here. Now, of course, everybody you meet randomly on the internet, even if they are your mods and you talk to them occasionally, that doesn't always necessarily, mean that they're great people. But at this point, I've thrown myself to a pack of wolves before, yeah, I risked being involved with these other people, so I was desperate. Well, there were a couple, Rick and Alice, and they were very interested in helping me out. And they were just some of them, and that was cool. And so they came out, and they were really friendly. And one of the things I wanted to do, and they helped me do, was be like, "You got to patch stuff up with your wife. You can't keep going through this whole Mennonite like there's a buffer of people between you and your wife, and so you need to go straight to Delilah and work things out, or see if they can be worked out." And they helped me pick out jewelry, a bottle of wine, flowers. Like you just get all the stuff, right? So got all the stuff. I just needed to have a conversation with her because phone calls were almost like they just didn't work. There was just her scolding me all the time, or her using me as an emotional outlet and just telling me about everything in her life, and I just like listened for like an hour. And any problems I had that I would possibly bring up, I just got scolded for. And so I'm not ready to give up on the marriage just yet. I'm really not sure how the heck I move forward after all this, but I'm not ready to just randomly give up on it. So they convinced me to go up there. They'll take care of the homestead while I'm away. They took care of the homestead while I was away. It was great. Um, I didn't tell her about it because I knew that Delilah would immediately get a hold of the group of Mennonites that were in charge of my case or whatever, and they were going to say, "No, absolutely not. There will be no meeting." Um, so I get in my truck, I drive 9 hours, and I was just hoping my truck was going to make it. I took it to a mechanic shop first, and I'm like, "I'm going to drive this thing hundreds of miles. Can you just please make sure it's like going to be okay?" And they're like, "Well, it's okay as it's going to get. I don't see anything that's going to immediately fall apart." And so, okay, I drive the 9 hours. I got a hotel for 2 nights, and it's probably 15 minutes away from where she's staying, or yeah, she was staying there for sure. 15 minutes from her parents' and grandmother's place. I get the hotel, I get there, I settle in, and then I send her a message saying, hey, we really need to work things out. I want to talk. You don't have to talk. I am staying here. I gave her the room number. I gave her the hotel address. I specified I will not come to you, but I've made it easy for you to come to me. And I put that there, and I'm in the hotel, and I'm waiting, and each minute is taking forever. And me and Minion, little dog, sitting in the hotel. I'm putting him in clothes and stuff. I'm just doing anything to pass the time. And so I'm there waiting, and I wait all the way to the next morning, and I get video messages from her this time, 3 of them. And she tells me about how she's dealing with her family issues and stuff right now. It's just like this whole big thing. And she scolded me for even coming there, and told me she felt unsafe. I was not to communicate directly with her on any of this stuff, but rather go through the people that she chose. And I tried earlier to say, can we get some other people besides the people in this group? Like, can we get, an unbiased third party? Can we go to like real counselors, professionals and stuff? And no, these were the only people that I could communicate to her through. So that was it. I made her feel unsafe. I needed to respect her feelings and her boundaries and her time while she deals with, her grandmother being sick, and to go home. Like, I feel unsafe, go home. And so there's my answer, I guess. I had told her too, like, if you want to bring your parents with you, if you want to bring, anybody you want to bring, do you not want to come to me, but you want to send your dad instead to have a conversation? Like, I would have taken anything but this crazy whacked out group of people. But no, get out of here. And so I left. I packed up. I sent pictures of me leaving. Like, I'm just like, I'm going to do what you want. I'm leaving. And I sent pictures, and I think she kind of felt bad. She's just like, thanks for, sending me pictures and showing that you're actually leaving. And shortly after that, I get a call from Ananias. And the entire way home, okay, not the entire way, but like, he's got nothing better to do. He doesn't work. He's talking to me on the phone probably for like 3 hours, and just like, you tried to go around us and all this stuff. And like, he's just like, so I hope you learned a valuable lesson. Like, he's just scolding me, a valuable lesson about, just trying to directly communicate with your wife to repair the relationship. Obviously, that is a terrible plan. So I was just, getting scolded for all this. And somewhere about halfway home, I realized it is absolutely over. There is no recovering this relationship at all whatsoever. But here's the problem. I can't just divorce her because her name is on the deed of my land. Well, that's not a big deal, but then Jezebel, my sister, also owns part of the land still. And Jezebel wants her money out of it, and obviously there's this whole financial separation that Delilah wants, so we have to, figure this out. And I'm like, I'm going to go through the financial separation, because if I start some kind of divorce proceedings, I have no idea what this other group is going to do. I'm just trying to keep them in the dark at this point. Like, kind of act like I'm trying to reconcile and do the right thing, but yet not communicate too much. Like, I'm just kind of like playing the part. It's just like, get off of me. Like, I didn't want them to realize that I wanted to be done with everybody and everything. I wanted this all done. So basically, once the financial separation went through, we had to draft it. I had to like pay her somewhat unreasonable amounts of money for stuff, like whatever. Plus, yeah, it was crazy. I went from a net worth of $150,000 down to about $30,000, and I had a whole bunch of debt. But before I get to that debt, that's the next part. So, next part.